George Kaiser Family Foundation and now chair of the Center for Creativity, and we are so excited you're here. Welcome to Tulsa Community College, and we cannot wait to hear about the great ideas of these bright young minds in our community. I'm going to tell you really quickly about a big, bright idea that Tulsa Community College has that has helped over 10,000 people in our community go to college debt-free for 2 years. It's called the Tulsa Achieves program. Who's heard about that? All right, I like seeing so many hands go up. And I realize college is a long way for some of you, but it's never too early to start thinking about it. This program allows any high school student that lives in Tulsa County, whether that's public, private, or homeschooled, to go to college and get an associate's degree without tuition or fees. You have to have a 2.0 GPA, and I have a feeling a lot of you are knocking that one way out of the park. There are some more cards that tell you about the program back there on that table. We want you here at Tulsa Community College. We want to keep our great young minds here in our community. So, thank you, welcome, and am I turning it back over to you? Great, thank you.
So, in May of 2016, Andrew Spector and I started a program called Tulsa Changemakers, and that program was very different from the program that we have right now. We started with a mission to empower promising youth leaders to make positive impacts in their school and community. And that was in service of our vision for a future where Tulsa is a model city for youth-driven impact. The reason why our program in May of 2016 is so different from the program that you see today is a testament to you all here today and our broader Tulsa community and our Tulsa Changemaker families and the value that you've been able to bring to the young people in our program. So sincerely, I want to start by thanking you all for being here and showing up for our students and making Tulsa Changemakers what it is now and where we've been over the past 2.5 years. So please give yourselves a huge round of applause. This past semester, Tulsa Changemakers was at 7 partner school sites. We were at 3 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, and 2 high schools. Some of the cohorts had 6 students, some had only 2, but all of them showed a huge commitment to their school and community and to making a positive change. Today, you're going to hear from all 7 of these schools as they share the process that they underwent and where they are today. So our process is boiled down to listen, listen, act. Every Changemaker group listened to each other and to themselves, sourced each other's perspectives, identified what it was that was important to them, then went out into their community for the second phase of listening. They heard from classmates and teachers. They did one-on-one interviews and surveys. They went home and asked questions of their families. And ultimately, they took that listening and put that listening into action. Throughout a semester, a Changemaker cohort does a very, very small impact project, something with a finite beginning and end that they can set metrics to and evaluate their success based on that metric. So what they're going to share with you today is a very, very small project that serves as a step into their larger lives of leadership. After today, the cohorts will have graduated from the formal Tulsa Changemaker program and they'll join us as alumni. For some, that'll mean continuing the impact project and the broader topic they've been working on into next semester and beyond. For some, they're looking to pivot and identify new ways to impact their community and take the lessons that they learn toward other interests and passions. I'm very excited to hear what young people have to say. I'm very excited that you're able to share this with us. And before we kick it off, I just want to thank again our host sponsor, the TCC McKeon Center for Creativity, our presenting sponsor, which is One Guest, and our 2018-19 funders, the Ann and Henry Zara Foundation, Charles and Schuster Foundation, Koretz Family Foundation, George Kaiser Family Foundation, the Jewish Federation of Tulsa, Lobeck Taylor Family Foundation, One Oak, T.D. Williamson, the Sharna and Irvin Frank Foundation, and Tulsa Public Schools. And it is with great pleasure that I'll be interested. So I also won't be hosting tonight. I just did that opening thing. It is with great pleasure that I'm going to introduce our host for this evening. a freshman from Memorial High School and Changemaker alum. Please give a warm welcome and round of applause to Alani Jones.
Welcome. As Wendy Williams would say, how you doing? My name is Alani Jones, the best freshman attending Memorial High School, a senior Tulsa Changemaker, and last but not least, tonight's hostess. Today you will be hearing from the greatest Tulsa Changemakers from 7 different schools in all ages. Please do not forget to network with these great changemakers. Afterwards, there will be some continuing in the same project and others heading in another direction. All the changemakers are excited to connect and learn from you all tonight after their presentations. Without further ado, let's welcome the one and only Springdale Elementary.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for being here at Pitch Night. My name is Aurelia Maldonado, and I am a member of Springdale Tulsa Changemakers. Today, Emily, Eduardo, Amaya, Kaylee, Jose, and I will be sharing with you how 3 6th graders, 2 5th graders, and a 4th grader have been shaking things up at Springdale. The initiative that we chose as a group was to improve our school culture. Emily will share with you how we decided on that.
One of our first homework assignments was to ask the people closest to us and ourselves what were 2 things that we wanted to see changed in the Springdale community, and 2 things that we wanted to see changed at Springdale. Everyone came back to the next session with some great responses. Even though many of our responses were different, we all agreed that we wanted to make change and change fast. So we chose from the school's focus list, and based on the issues we wanted to change, our coaches helped us summarize our initiative to improving school culture with a focus on improving student behavior. Next, we identified the part of the day when teachers were repeating themselves a lot. Eduardo Siles is going to tell you what we did in the upper hallway. At the beginning of the year, we now noticed that students were not following the hallway procedures. The 2 main parts not being followed are having a 0 voice level, not talking, and traveling on one side. So we thought we could find a compromise. The compromise was to change a level 0 voice to a level 1, and create lanes with tape so the hallway became a highway, and there was more room to walk. Based on our 82 responses, 82% said they had more freedom, and 70 said that they made the hallway more quiet. We also asked questions that helped us come up with an idea to help improve student behavior in the hallways too, not just the classrooms. And Maya, we want to talk to you more about that.
In the survey, we asked the question, if you could choose one new program at Springdale to improve student behavior, what would you choose? A top response was to start a Big Buddy, Little Buddy program. We knew 4th through 6th graders were going to be the big buddies and decided on having kindergartners be the first group of little buddies because we knew we could help them with academics and social behaviors. As a Changemakers team, we created an application, received over 60 applications back, reviewed them, and we were almost ready. We even paired our bilingual big buddies with our dual language Spanish-speaking little buddies to give them confidence while learning the new language. We all got really excited for the first day we had our Big Buddy, Little Buddy meet and greet. A Big Buddy, Little Buddy program once a week could encourage good behavior while helping spread Springdale's mission to challenge ourselves and others, care for our school and community, be joyful, and be engaged. We say those things every Monday morning as a whole school.
Since starting Big Buddy, Little Buddy, we now begin each Changemaker session by discussing how Big Buddy, Little Buddy went each day and how we needed to respond moving forward. After the first 2 weeks, some strengths were that teachers had work ready for Big Buddies to complete with Little Buddies. Buddies were focused on their work and that they worked well in groups. Next, as a team, we identified input on how we were going to improve our weaknesses, build on our strengths, and work towards expanding the program after winter break. We were also able to notice things that connected back to our school vision. For example, today my classmate passed his little buddy in the hallway and said hi to him by name. The look on his face was pretty cool. I know they both felt some joy in that moment.
Some ideas we have to take this program to the next level and grow, bring the school coaches to expand to include more grades. Also, we would like to have an event that will make Big Buddies continue their good behavior in class and be leaders in school. Some ideas we have right now is a trip to Carnival Pizza or a pizza party at Springdale. Also, we think it will be cool for Big Buddies to wear lane doors on the hallways on Thursday.
If you or anyone you may know may be interested in helping us with any of these asks, please connect with us to continue making change at Springdale.
Please give them another round of applause. Next, I will be introducing my former middle school, Nathan Hale Junior High.
Hello, my name is Alita, and this is Kimberly, and we are the Changemakers from Hale Junior High. The name of our initiative is Take Time to Recharge, and it's about coping with mental health related challenges.
So the way we chose our initiative was through talking about the personal experiences we've had with mental health issues and how it affected our performance in school, not just academically, but also socially. This is something we were all passionate about because we've all dealt with our own personal issues related to mental health. And we know firsthand how it feels to have our mental health get in the way of our education and our relationships. We felt that some of the behavioral issues going on in the school were due to mental health related challenges, and that a portion of our teachers and staff are not properly informed on how to handle the situation where a student was struggling with mental health.
We chose our project because both of us have used meditation in the past, and we found that it helped us with our anxiety and stress. We gave out a survey to the students and staff, and through those results, we found out that the large majority of our schools struggled with mental health related challenges and didn't have the most healthy coping mechanisms. After considering many different projects, we thought that meditation could help the most people. Also, it wouldn't be that difficult to pull off. Before we made it official, we asked around the school to see if this would be something that they would be willing to try out. The majority of people we asked said that they would want to try meditation.
Our project was called Take Time to Recharge. We created a space in our school where students and staff could go and meditate during their lunch break. We also had to talk to administration to get permission to find what we could use. Then we asked 2 teachers if they would volunteer during their lunch to supervise the meditation period. We handmade the flyers and banners that we hung around the school. Then we announced in front of the whole school during morning assembly. At A lunch, Aaliyah led the meditation through an app called Headspace. And during B lunch, I led the meditation because I felt that the students would respond better to a person than a computer. We made sure everyone signed in and filled out the post survey. Overall, we had 23 people who came to the meditation. 16 were students and 7 of them were staff members. We mostly got positive feedback, but there was a handful of people who commented that it was boring, but that it would stop them from trying it again. We later found out that there was an issue in the cafeteria where students weren't allowed to leave unless they had a pass. So basically, we told the administration what we were doing, but the cafeteria personnel was not informed about the event. The staff in the cafeteria were not letting the students leave, so the students who made it to the meditation snuck out of the cafeteria. Even though we did a lot of stuff to prepare for it, we felt that it was a little rushed last minute.
we did it again, we would definitely do better on the advertising. Moving forward, we hope that this becomes a permanent part of our school. Since doing the first time, take time to recharge, the space, we have had many students ask about it, wondering if take time to recharge would be happening again soon. A long-term goal would be to work with our administration to make it part of how to handle behavior challenges in the class. We hope to be able to make the space more comfortable and inviting. Our ask is to have any form of donation that could help us make the space more inviting. We would hope to implement things like furniture, pillows, comfortable chairs, etc. That is the end of our pitch. Thank you all for listening.
Third on our list to talk about their work with homelessness, we have Kendall Whittier Elementary.
We are the Kendall Whittier Elementary Changemakers. Our initiative was to help the homeless. My name is Natalie Valero. We are the Kendall Whittier Elementary Changemakers. Our initiative was to help the homeless. My name is Natalie Valero, and in my Changemaker group we have
I'm Kay McNichol.
I'm Dana Martinez.
And I'm Thomas Briggs.
I'm Carol Bray.
Next to me is Kel McNichol, who will take it from here.
We interviewed multiple community leaders in our community, such as Juan Murray from Growing Together, Marissa King from Teaching and Learning Initiative, Brandy Wall, our administrator, and we also interviewed Stephen Fiedel from the Tulsa Public Schools, data officer, and Haley Jeffries, our main partner. We found organizations that could help us around with our homelessness community, in our community, such as Tango Tab and Kendall Whittier Inc. We saw that we had a high population of homelessness in our community. And in the time of us doing our project about homelessness, we were learning about stigma too. Stigma is judging a book by its cover but towards a person. Most of us had personal experiences with the homelessness, and Dina would like to share hers today.
When I was younger, my family and I would go out every weekend and feed the homeless, and me seeing their smiles on their faces would make me smile.
We created a survey and learned what type of things people needed that we could collect, like hygiene products, food, water, shelter, and love. We researched info about youth services and how they help the homeless. Youth services is basically like a program that helps young individuals. We continue to interview people like Hispanic Leadership Institution and school leaders. We did consensus building and listed pros and cons to pick our project.
These community strengths around us, like the administrators, the city year, youth services, kindergarten year students, teachers, the neighborhood, reading partners, cohorts, and last but not least, change makers.
We settled on a homeless drive competition between our 3 halls with 300 students in each hall. We talked with our administration and staff in multiple meetings and presented our initiative at the staff meeting. We chose our prizes based on our goal, which our goal was 300 and got more than we expected. We convinced students and teachers to participate in our homeless drive by giving prizes and posting posters around the halls, and we also sent flyers and spoke in Rise and Shine, our morning assembly, with 700 older kids and 200 younger kids in the other assembly.
We used youth services wish list to decide what we needed to collect. Our goal at first was 50, 100, and 200 items. We met with our principals to make those goals permanent. She said we needed to go higher, so we did. We set our goals to 100, 200, and 300. We are proud to say that our students and teachers got involved in this drive. Our final count was a big 792.
Changemakers have chosen to do different initiatives. In future school impact projects, we would be more specific with our donations. We would give more information to younger students and work more with the teachers.
You got the magic touch.
We learned from our focus group that the teachers can help the younger students understand our projects better. We would really appreciate it if you could connect us to any volunteer opportunities. Thank you for listening. We hope to see you in October.
Let's give them another round of applause. Our next presenter is on McKeon High School.
We are the McKeon High School Tulsa Changemakers. The one standing next to me is Matthew Hamilton, and we have
We have fellow changemakers who cannot make it tonight, but they would be Ryan Bennett, Alicia Hardeman, and Tiara Bunch.
Okay, so this is how we chose our initiative. First, we interviewed the administrators, teachers, and the student body, and of course, the community members. Then we learned that McKeon students wanted to participate in clubs, but just did not have the opportunity, nor were aware of the clubs at McKeon. Students' personal experiences stemmed from conflicts with sports, jobs, and okay, that's cool. Students' personal experiences stem from conflicts with sports, jobs, and other after-school activities.
How we chose our project was from surveying students at our school, and like what Yuko said, that most students wanted to get in clubs but had other occupations at the time. The information that had led us to choose our project, but this information led us to choose our project
During meetings and survey periods, the administrators agreed upon a project to bring more awareness to our student body about these clubs. During our club fair at school, we managed to get a table set up there to gather suggestions from the students. It was the 16th of November, around, time really don't matter, I guess. But the people, it was us change makers involved, the administrators and the student body at the school. An important detail was we gathered a little over 200 suggestions from the students.
I don't know. Okay, so explaining our results. The data collected showed that, from our project, showed that 160 plus students were surprisingly interested in a gaming club and a culinary arts club at McKeon. Translating into basically a cooking and a gaming club. We were very successful, and know this because we had over 200 students that gave suggestions or responses, if you want to call them that, about what clubs they wanted at McKeon. Some important findings that were that kids really wanted to be part of some clubs, however, again, they did not have the time for it. And of course, they also had other commitments as well.
In conclusion, the next step for our initiative is to have our club fair on January 13th. Our goals moving forward are to have more participation in our schools clubs, as well as to have more clubs at school. The administration has agreed to add time for clubs during school time, specifically during our college summer. And our community can help. The community can help us by being volunteers for our school clubs, by being sponsors. Help us sponsor some of our clubs, or by donating some resources that would help these clubs.
And we have one other thing to add. We didn't have time to put in the slide, but we have a greenhouse located in the back of our school, and we was wondering if we could maybe get a way for somebody to help us bring it back up, so we could possibly have fresh produce at our school to help better our lunches, because some of our food, some of it isn't ripe, some of it's overripe, and sometimes we don't have any really fresh food at all. So I think that'd be a good thing to bring more fresh produce into the school.
Let's give them another round of applause. Our next group will not be presenting. They will also be sharing a video they created. Welcome, Ellen O'Shell Elementary.
Good evening, fellow Changemakers. We are Christopher Royal,
Madeline Collins,
Darley Ramos,
Ilea Devers,
and Joshua Little. We are the 2018 Changemakers from Ellen O'Shell Elementary, a community school in Union. We are here today because we want a criminal justice system that rehabilitates and keeps families together.
We began our community impact project by listening. We listened to our own experiences, our own strengths, and the challenges we saw in our community. We all wanted projects that were bigger than ourselves. So we interviewed our family and 6 community leaders about the strengths and challenges they saw in their community. Although each of us up here came into Changemakers with a personal cause they wanted to fight for, we knew that this is not just about us as individuals. And we would need to agree on an initiative that we felt most passionate about. Our greatest strength was our personal stories. I'm one of the 26,000 Oklahoma children who currently have an incarcerated parent, and I have since I was 2 years old. And I don't want children to have birthday after birthday to go by without a mother to share it with, mother or father to share it with. Through this and other personal experiences, we decided that child quality treatment and resources was the initiative we wanted to focus on.
After we reached our consensus about our initiative, we had to narrow our focus to a specific project that we could accomplish as a first step towards making change in the criminal justice system. We had passion for change, but we realized it was a complicated problem. To figure out how we could focus our project, we conducted a survey of 39 adults in our community, with nearly 70% saying they did not feel informed about the the experiences of incarcerated people. Our survey provided us responses such as they should be able to be released into public after receiving the correct rehabilitation. It's heartbreaking for children to suffer while their parent is in jail. I truly believe there should be more resources / projects helping the parents and children be involved more with the child milestones. And se puede mejorar dando ayuda emocional, trabajar individualmente con cada persona dependiendo del caso para ayudarlos a poder entregar nuevamente a la persona a la sociedad. Síguense al caso.
This listening caused us to realize people did not feel informed on the criminal justice system or the experiences of those incarcerated. To educate ourselves, we interviewed several professionals in the field, a parole officer, a local legislator, a lawyer, as well as other political activists and advocacy organizations. We conducted our own research, finding facts such as 1 in 10 Oklahoma children have had a parent in jail or prison at some point in their childhood. Oklahoma has the highest incarceration rate in the world. We decided the most lasting impact we could have would be to create a video to share our experience, research, and ask for policy changes to increase alternative sentencing and social-emotional development programs. Here's our project.
My name is Christopher. My name is Madeline. My name is Aliyah. My name is Joshua. My name is Darlene. We are the elemental Tulsa Changemakers. We want to see a criminal justice system that supports, not suppresses. We are 2 of the 96,000 Oklahoma children who have experienced parental incarceration. We want reform for families like ours. Oklahoma currently imprisons 1 out of every 100 people in the state, with each incarceration costing state taxpayers $19,000 per year. It would only cost between $2,000 and $6,000 per year per person for rehabilitation or mental health treatment. We have many moving organizations including One Justice. One Justice helps women who have been incarcerated tell their stories. We want all prisoners to get out of these countries. We need a criminal justice system that works. Support social-emotional development programs and alternative sentencing so that we can create healthier communities and keep families together.
On December 5th, we sent our video and message directly to 45 local and state influencers. This included legislators and politicians, education leaders, non-profit organizations, advocacy groups, the sheriff's office, and the district attorney. We have received over 90 views in the first week. But we know that the benefit of a video is that it does not end its message tonight at pitch night, but can continue to inform and advocate for healthier communities
and keep families together into the future. We didn't know being a changemaker would be so exhausting. We are proud of the work we have done and hope that you support us by spreading awareness, by sharing our video with anybody you think could benefit, or use it to continue to advocate for criminal justice reform. Please stand if you or somebody you love has been affected by incarceration. A reform for families like ours, all of ours. As we leave the Changemakers cohort, we are looking for other ways to grow and be changemakers in our community. Please see the brochure for our personal and advocacy interests, and let us know if you can help.
Our next group will be represented in both English and Spanish. Now let's give a round of applause for Nathan Hill High School.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sheila Lara. This is Adriana Mosqueda. This is Lisette Mosqueda, and this is Emma Lara. And we're the group Tulsa Changemakers at Nathan Hill High School. Our initiative was to make a school a safer place for everyone, and we're doing our presentation in a bilingual version.
How we chose our initiative. We chose our initiative because school safety was a concern to us and to others. We interviewed members of the community and analyzed community strengths by exploring the resources available. That's how we chose our initiative.
Elegimos nuestra iniciativa porque la seguridad de la escuela es una preocupación para nosotros y para las demás personas. Empezamos a investigar nuestra iniciativa entrevistando a diferentes miembros de la comunidad. Analizamos las habilidades de la comunidad explorando los diferentes recursos disponibles que hay en nuestra escuela y en nuestra comunidad. Y por último, discutimos lo que era más importante para nosotras.
¿Cómo escogimos nuestro proyecto? Nosotros hicimos encuestas a 29 estudiantes y 9 profesores acerca de cómo se sentían sobre la seguridad de la escuela, a lo cual tuvimos mucha contradicción porque ellos decían que se sentían seguros en la escuela, pero nos dieron muchas cosas negativas de ella.
We did a survey in which we had 29 students and 9 teachers who responded to see how they felt. And many said they felt safe at school but had negative thoughts to say about our school.
Tuvimos más encuestas a diferentes personas, a los cuales nos dieron resultado que nuestras causas eran falta de involucración familiar, falta de seguridad de la escuela, violencia y discriminación.
We did more interviews, which led us to the following root causes: lack of family engagement, school safety, and discrimination.
Miembros de la comunidad que ya conocíamos estuvieron disponibles y les gustó ayudar para nuestro proyecto.
Many of the community members that we already knew were willing to help us in our project.
Nuestro proyecto fue un evento de diversidad cultural el día 15 de noviembre en la cafetería de nuestra escuela. Servimos diferentes tipos de comida para las personas que acudieron. Tuvimos una presentación cultural por una de nuestras estudiantes de nuestra escuela. Tuvimos baile de diferentes culturas en las cuales muchos estudiantes participaron. Más de 100 personas atendieron a nuestro evento.
La mayoría eran estudiantes, pero también hubo muchos padres de familia y muchos integrantes de nuestra administración. Recaudamos $175 de negocios y también recibimos donaciones de diferentes restaurantes cercanos a nuestra escuela para que los estudiantes puedan ir a probar nuevas cosas a esos restaurantes.
Our project was a cultural diversity event on November 15th, which took place in the cafeteria of our school, where we served food, had a culture performance, and we had different types of music so people could dance to, and plenty of students participated. Over 100 people attended, mostly students, but also parents and students and school staff. We raised $175 to purchase food and received food donations from restaurants near Hill, so students can try something new.
Nuestro evento fue un éxito y nos dimos cuenta porque estuvimos encuestando a las personas durante el evento acerca de cómo se sentían en él y tuvimos un grupo de enfoque después de la escuela teniendo diferentes opiniones de nuestra administración y algunos estudiantes.
Our event was a success. We did surveys throughout our event to see how they felt. We also had a focus group which gave us positive feedback.
Nosotros pudimos alcanzar nuestra meta, que era tener 75 personas en nuestro evento, y llegamos a más de 100 personas. Las personas dijeron que tuvieron mucha diversión y que quieren hacer este evento de nuevo.
We met our goal of having at least 75 people, and we had over 100 people who attended. Everyone said they had a lot of fun and would like to do this event again.
Nuestra directora nos sugirió que hiciéramos este evento una tradición para nuestra escuela.
Our principal suggested we make this event a tradition. We would like to do this event at least once a semester. We would also like for other schools to try this event. The model for organizing this event would be to pick someone who is passionate about social justice, gathering students, and to raise $200 for food and materials.
Nos gustaría tener este evento al menos una vez al semestre y nuestro modelo, y también queremos que otras escuelas intenten hacer este proyecto, y queremos buscar un modelo de persona que esté interesado en la justicia social y que reclute estudiantes que estén apasionados por la diversidad cultural y quieran hacer un cambio en su escuela, y recauden al menos $200 para materiales y comida.
Our ask for help is to raise $500 for the spring to have this event in the spring. We would also like for you guys to reach out to community members for us.
Nuestra petición para HELL es recaudar al menos $500 para volver a hacer este evento otra vez en la primavera y que nos comuniquen con más miembros de la comunidad.
We would like for you to review our individual asks in the program that you received. Thank you for your time.
Our last school is Tulsa School of Arts and Science.
Hi, my name is Jaden.
My name is Ben.
My name is Harper Goss.
I need to be Surrey.
I'm Journey. I'm Natalie Grisel.
How we chose our initiative. To choose our initiative, we talked to people who we knew in our community. And in our interviews, we found out that people in our communities been treated unfairly. Everyone in the Tulsa Changemakers have been discriminated before, one way or another.
On our first survey, a third of the respondents said that they had never been discriminated. also said they knew people who had been discriminated. We got in contact with different organizations such as Black Wall Street Times to get more information about our project.
For our project, we were inspired by the Jane Elliott Blue-Eyed Brown-Eyed experiment, where an Iowa teacher named Jane Elliott gave her students advantages or disadvantages based on eye color. After spending 4 sessions on the project, we were finally ready. On Friday, November 9th, we facilitated an empathy exercise where 8th grade students got a card that either gave them an advantage or a disadvantage. For example, if a student got a sun card, they had to write in marker, but if they got a moon card, they could write with whatever they wanted to. However, the sun card students got a chance to get the advantage. They could either tell the teacher a random fact, or they could say the first 20 elements. This went on throughout the day, each class choosing advantages. At the end of the day, we had a survey, and on the next Monday, we had a focus group to recap all the things we did.
Our results. We gave a post-experience survey, and the questions we took out was, do you feel more empathetic towards people who are being discriminated against? 62.8% said yes, and 27.9% said no. We then reflected on the part that said no.
Moving on, we would like to replicate our exercise with the CSAS 7th grade and expand it to other schools. Also, we are looking to connect with organizations who may want to we want to connect with organizations that have similar objectives to ours, and schools who may want to recreate the experience.
As we transition now, we are currently looking for new ways to grow and evolve. If you know anyone that aligns with our interests, please feel free to meet with one of us after this.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Andrew Spector, and I'm one of the co-founders of Tulsa Changemakers. And I have the privilege this evening to introduce our last 2 speakers, Alma Fierro and Matthew Fleming. So our mission with Tulsa Changemakers is to empower promising youth leaders to drive positive impact in Tulsa right now and into the future. And so as a part of that, it's our goal to connect our youth with community, college, and career opportunities that set them up for future leadership opportunities. So Matthew and Alma recently got connected to an opportunity through Rustic Pathways, which is a high school study abroad program, to engage in a 2-week study abroad experience in Southeast Asia, called the Critical Issues Summit. So they're going to tell you more about it, but they're currently launching this evening a fundraiser through GoFundMe to raise money to make this opportunity possible for them.
Hi, my name is Matthew Fleming. I'm a 9th grade student at Nathan Hale High School and an alum of Tulsa Changemakers.
Hi, I'm Alma Fierro, and I'm a sophomore at Tulsa High School, and I'm also an alum of Changemakers.
Alma and I are raising money to attend the Critical Issues Summit, which is a high school study abroad program run by Rustic Pathways. Rustic Pathways' mission is to empower students through innovative and responsible travel experience to positively impact lives and communities around the world. The Critical Issues Summit will bring together 100 teams from more than 20 countries around the world to Southeast Asia for 2 weeks in order to examine 5 global critical issues and compete for a $10,000 social innovation challenge prize. We are both interested in the summit because it will give us the opportunity to go to another country, specifically learn about the global issue of gender equality and bring back information to Tulsa. Then we can raise awareness about what we've learned and help people understand what's going on in other places. With all these teams from other countries around the world and involved, or not Tulsa too? Again? Okay. I personally want to go to the Critical Issues Summit because it would be a great way to build leadership skills and help others in a time of need. It will help me to understand what is really going on outside of our communities. I have already learned a lot about being a leader through other programs such as Boy Scouts and JROTC and Changemakers. This will help me improve those skills more.
I personally want to go to the Critical Issue Summit because I am passionate about meeting new people and learning about new perspectives and making a positive impact, and being an advocate for gender equality. Last summer, I attended Camp Anytown, which is run by OCCJ, and we went to OSU in Stillwater, and we stayed in the college campus. So pretty much, they walked us through pretty much educating us on different cultures, on different ways of living, such as gender identity, sexuality. We also learned about different religions, such as Judaism, Hinduism, and even Christianity. And I retained a lot of amazing, useful information that I can use later on, especially being a change maker. So in Changemakers, last year I worked on a project which was changing perspectives on teen parents / pregnancy, because around that subject there's just a lot of stigma, and I wanted to be able to share stories of these moms and dads who deserve equal opportunity as any other teenager. So that's something I worked on last year, and now I'm working on education about mental health, providing education and awareness for people who have mental health challenges, specifically around the area of suicide and self-harm, because it's greatly impacted not only my life, but also lives around me. Through the Critical Issue Summit, we can learn to solve big problems and become great leaders to help tomorrow's next generations of changemakers. At the Critical Issue Summit, we plan to focus on global issues of gender equality. When we return to Tulsa, we plan to spread awareness of the issue of gender equality and work to include others in making a difference. We expect that our experience in the Critical Issue Summit will empower us with new perspectives and meeting new people, challenge us to think differently and learn more about global issues, and ultimately make a stronger impact in Tulsa. We are raising $11,000 to attend the Critical Issue Summit. Please donate to our GoFundMe and come talk to us about the summit and why we want to do it, and how we plan to bring back during the network time. Thank you.
Let's give them one more round of applause. Networking will begin shortly. The screen will show where the Changemakers will be located. Also feel free to take the food that was placed down. For the next 30 minutes, try to meet as many people as you can. Many Changemakers are looking to get involved in other things throughout the city. In your programs, they have listed a few of their individual ideas of interest. Thank you all for coming. It was a pleasure being your hostess. Good night.